Flying drones, seriously cool stuff. Arguably the least cool thing about flying a drone is using the controller, because when you use the controller, you have to connect your smartphone up to it, and that involves taking your case off, putting it into the bracket with the lightning cable there, starting the app up, starting the controller up, and then syncing it before you can fly. But now there's a new solution. We have this thing from DJI. So it's a smartphone and a controller in one unit. So they called it the Smart Controller. Kind of makes sense, doesn't it, really?
Yes, quite. Anyway, before we carry on, a quick message.
I'm happy to be giving a shout out to sponsor this video, NordVPN. It's a super duper VPN service that I use for its military grade encryption, super fast servers in over 61 countries, and 24/7 customer service. Boom.
Initial impressions. It's quite big and heavy, but actually when you compare it in terms of the size to the controller once you put the smartphone in, pretty similar in size. But you know, as it's quite a rectangular chocolate box kind of shape, it slips into your bag quite easily. But the weight, it is heavier, that's for sure.
If you're just comparing the controllers only, there's a big difference in weight, but once you add a smartphone onto the standard controller, the difference in weight isn't that big like.
But anyway, let's start it up. My little controller nubbins are hidden under here.
It's always great to have a pair of nubbins tucked away for easy access.
Boom. Ready to go. Starting, oh, DJI.
But then I realised that I just can't go flicking my nubbins in public without preparation first.
Need an internet connection to activate. Everything in the world has to be activated before use.
Best activating it at home first. It has a smartphone within but no connection, so you need to connect it to your actual phone to activate it. But once that's done, getting your drone ready to fly is basically as quick as hitting go fly. From power off to on, open app and ready to fly, it does save a good bit of time over fumbling about with your phone and controller. But this next bit is one of the top features of the Smart Controller.
The great thing about this is that the screen is massive, 5.5 inch screen, and it's super bright. 1000 CDM, if that means anything to you. Doesn't mean anything to me, but an iPhone is 625 CDM, which means this is a lot brighter. It's bright, alright?
CDM, nits, whatever. You can see how they compare when both are set at full brightness. The Smart Controller is easier to see in bright sunlight. Now the iPhone X's screen is wider, the DJI's is taller, but the iPhone X doesn't use the full width of the screen, so the Smart Controller's screen does appear quite a bit bigger.
I mean, for me, the main purpose of me having this is so that I don't have to use my smartphone, sap the battery from my smartphone when I need to be using it for useful stuff like taking selfies. Yeah, anyway, the point is I need battery for my smartphone. I need my smartphone for smart stuff and non-smart stuff.
It sounds kinda odd to say, I mean, it's a controller. It controls stuff, that's all. But it does feel like a nicer controller to be using to fly a drone and to monitor exactly what you're filming. Small thing that seems to make a big difference.
Ergonomically, it feels quite nice to have this big chunky thing to grip hold of instead of the controller with the flippy bracket things where you put your phone in.
The buttons and controls feel better spaced out, although some of the buttons look the same as the standard controller ones. Overall they're a bit easier to access, less prone to accidentally knocking the sticks. And these buttons on the back, easier to find with gloves on versus the standard ones, which is good because the Smart Controller works down to a chilly -20 degrees C.
Battery is built in with this, but it just takes 2 hours to charge and you get 2.5 hours of battery life with this. And I guess you can probably charge it on the go.
Yes, it can be charged on the go, although once you're home it's best to use the provided fast charger, not just through USB, because otherwise it might take quite a long time. I mean, look, even the controller has the smarts to say it's going to take too bloody long.
Then on top of this, you've got HDMI, micro SD, USB. Just had to check.
It's a pretty neat party trick to be able to show your friends and family your fancy drone footage on your big TV, but it's useful for some serious stuff as well. Of course, with HDMI, you can hook it up to a monitor to show a director or your client what exactly you're doing.
But then there are other ways of transmitting the footage. You've got DJI Go Share, which you use using a QR code from here, and you use your smartphone to just read the QR code. Boom, simple as that. Or Live has got a built-in microphone and a speaker, but of course, as it doesn't have its own connection, you have to use the connection on your smartphone, the other smartphone, not the one built into this. But then we come to the big question of price. How much does it cost? Well, it costs $649, £579. Yes, that is quite a fair bit. That's like over a third of the cost of a Mavic 2 Pro, about half the cost of a Mavic 2 Zoom. Why do I just mention those two drones? Because that's what is compatible with at the minute. But surely, of course, in the future, this can be compatible with all future DJI products, hopefully.
It's not like you won't be able to do the basic controlling stuff with your Mavic 2 if you don't get it, but although the smart controller is smart by name and does the smart stuff, for me, what is so likeable about the controller is that it helps you to do the basic stuff a lot better. Okay, one last shout out to NordVPN for sponsoring this video. Type in nordvpn.com/KaiW and use the code KaiW for a special promo.
Why do I use VPNs? Well, I've used VPNs for a long time, and I'm a user of NordVPN because it gives me extra peace of mind in two ways. Number one, protection online when I'm using it in public places or just places away from home.
It secures in seconds, and with double data encryption for increased anonymity. There's no data logging also because it's registered in Panama. And I've got Android and iOS apps to protect your phone.
And number two is to be able to access my YouTubes, my Twitters, my Facebooks and Instagrams when I'm online in places like China and I need to break through the Great Firewall of China. A bit like David Copperfield on his motorbike, or however he did it. Did he walk through it? I think he walked through it, didn't he? Whatever. That's the YouTubes coming through the Great Wall of China.
With thousands of servers in over 61 countries, you can view region-restricted content, which also works in China and Middle Eastern countries.
And remember, you can get a discount, 75% discount for a 3-year plan, plus 1 month with this URL. Yeah? All right. Thanks for watching. See ya. Oh, man.